Welcome everyone to The Howl. I'm Emily Durkin, and in this episode, I sat down with Girls Varsity Basketball coach Courtney Ludois and captains Annika Manthy and Ava Harwood to discuss the start of the season. In this episode, we focused on the new team, Coach Ludois' history with Fremd, and the goals for the rest of the season. Thanks for joining, and we hope you enjoy. Hello everybody, and welcome back to The Howl. My name is Emily Durkin, and the producer of today's show is Ryan Antonucci, and we are very excited to have varsity girls basketball coach Courtney Ludois and captains Annika Manthy and Ava Harwood in the Dispatch podcast studio today, powered by Jet's Pizza. Hi, guys. Thanks so much for coming.
Thanks so much for having us.
Thanks for having us.
So just sort of as like a warm-up question here, how did each of you get into basketball, and at what point in that time span did you think, oh, I maybe want to like take this more seriously? So we'll start here with Coach then.
Okay. I grew up in the gym, so I knew I was going to be involved in basketball forever. My dad was my high school coach, so I went to practice with him when I was little. I rode the bus with his teams, so I was always kind of around it. So I kind of knew from an early age that it was something I wanted to pursue.
I started like in the Arlington Heights Park District League. I was really, really small, and I hated it. My mom forced me to play it, and in third grade, I was like, Mom, why do I keep playing basketball? I hate it. I'm only doing it because you want me to. But my mom, like, she doesn't care about basketball. She doesn't know how many people are on the court at the same time. And so then it was probably, like, fourth grade, and I was like, oh, wait, this is kind of fun. I kind of like this. And so then from then on, I just kept playing, and it brought me here.
See, mine was like a little different because I only liked basketball. I hated every single other sport, but I was horrible at it for the longest time. It really wasn't until like 8th grade that I like got cut from every single team that I tried out for. So I was like, okay, this is a little bit of a wake-up call. So I joined 2 different teams, and I finally like took it seriously. So.
Okay. So with so many seniors graduating last year and these new players fitting into the positions, how is everyone falling into place?
Well, I feel like last year everyone knew that we were good because we had, 5 all-star starters, and all of the seniors ended up, like, committing somewhere to go to college. But this year, the team didn't really surprise me, because I knew that this was just going to happen. But everyone is still really good. We are still a really good team, and I feel like people forget that. They thought that we weren't going to be like anything. It was just going to be like a mediocre season, but no, we're all good.
I think that it's definitely a different culture for sure, but everyone is so talented on the team, and I think that everyone has just a huge potential, and we have a really big potential to do really well this season.
Yeah.
We have the pieces.
Okay. Is there any activity amongst this team that really is like gets everyone involved and happy, like knockout or even like horse or something that just gets everybody just happy to be there, maybe at practice or, you know?
What's your favorite drill?
Oh, we're going to say question of the day.
Question of the day is also
always
fun.
Good.
Yeah, it's just this question, like every day you come to practice, we do our stretches and questions asked, and it can range from like anything you want it to be. Like my favorite one was, what food would the person to your left be?
Oh yeah, those are always fun.
And yeah, I think I
always
was.
would get asparagus.
They're very random.
It's great because I always think of random questions. So in class, so yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
I think mine was how long would you live in a horror movie?
Oh yeah, that was a good one too.
None of them will last long. Let's just put it that way.
So Hersey girls basketball has a high standard and a long history of success. Last season was, like we talked about, one of the best in a while. So how does the team process the high expectations this program has as you enter the season?
We just all know that we can compete at a certain level, and I feel that each year the expectation only increases, and we're all okay with that, and we all realize like what we have to do.
I also think that I just am like really working on fostering a positive team culture. So like I think that that's really important, and that leads to wins when everyone gets along and everyone can trust everybody.
Yeah, and everyone's just super competitive to start with, so it's like no big problem when everyone just wants to win.
Also, everyone works to get better. Like everyone's like wants to be in the gym and like wants to be there. So
yeah.
And our goal is that we get better every day. And we have kids that are in new roles this year, so everybody every day has no choice but to learn and get better. So I feel like every time we're together, every game we have, we're learning and we're getting towards our goal, which is to play our best basketball at the end of the year. So it's still a work in progress for sure, but we there's like spurts of some really good basketball. It's encouraging.
Last year, the team won 74% of their games with 28 wins. How is the team going to focus on their goals without letting the success of last season play a role?
I think just knowing that we don't have the same people that we had last year. It's a completely different team, completely different coaches. I think that, it's just a completely different dynamic to the team. So just separating the two, because I don't think that there, are any similarities between the two teams in a good way.
You just, can't compare it to last year, because last year was completely different. And just focus on this year, and as best as you can do this year is...
Yeah, and our phrase this year is be us. We're not last year's team. We're not any other team in the MSL. We're just going to do what we're good at and be us, the 16 people that are on our team every day.
Okay, so Coach, this is the first time in 9 years that you won't be at Fremd coaching. Since you switched over to Hersey, there has been a lot more eyes on the team now since Fremd is such a major competitor of Hersey. Last Wednesday, the team went up against them for the first time this season and did have a tough loss of 62-31. What was it about that Fremd team that made them a hard matchup for the Hersey squad?
They're just tough top to bottom, and it's hard being on the other side of it because I've coached them for so long and I know them, but knowing them isn't the same as playing against them. And right now they have a lot of kids that have a lot of varsity experience and we don't, and we have kids that are stepping in a new role. So I think their experience played a big role in that win. And we said after the game, we want to see them again down the road, and we might. Either at the end for MSL, we might see them in the playoffs. So I think it'll be a very different game if we saw them at the end of the year, because we'll be a completely different team.
So what was it like going against that old team for the first time?
It was definitely weird. I texted Yates when I was scouting them, watching film. I was like, this is weird, watching film on you guys after having coached them for so long. So it was definitely, I think, more emotional than I thought it was going to be, especially with, Coach Yates has a lot going on right now. He was diagnosed with brain cancer in April, so that adds a whole nother dynamic to it. But it was good to be back and see everybody.
Yeah, so what sort of was it like seeing Coach Yates on the opposing team's bench for the first time?
It was weird. I've been his assistant for 9 years. We worked really closely together. He was also my math department chair boss. So it was definitely different. But I think neither of us were really a big fan of going against each other for the first time. But it's going to be part of it, me being here, since they're on the other side of our conference. So we'll definitely have to get used to it.
Is there anything that you might have learned from him that you've brought over to this Hersey team?
For sure. I learned a lot from my time with Yates. One thing that he always said to me is he is one of the hardest working coaches in girls basketball. And one thing he said is I never want us to lose a game because I didn't put in my effort. So I learned he watches hours upon hours of film, and I've really adopted that. And he's constantly learning. He finds new plays on Twitter. He would text me at 3 a.m. with new ideas with what we need to be doing. So he's constantly learning and trying to be better, and I think I got that from him.
So speaking of previous games, another one I want to bring up is that tight game against Libertyville back over Thanksgiving break on November 24th, which ultimately ended in a Hersey win in overtime, 51-49. What were some of the reasons that stuck out to you guys about your success?
Well, 3 of our starters fouled out, me including. So what I felt was really important about that game is how we can still win with 3 starters out. That's that's incredible for our varsity teams. Sometimes teams only play 6, but in order to have 3 starters out, you have to put in 3 other people from the bench, and for the play to still be the same level and to come out with a win of a tight game, that just says and speaks a large amount about how much depth we have as a team.
Yeah, and I know during overtime, just maintaining composure. was really important. Like, I know Sadie scored 4 points.
Yeah, Sadie Marks, big
freshman.
freshie.
Freshman scored 4 points.
I think those
in
were the only
overtime.
points, too.
Yeah, and that's basically, like, that was in overtime. That was huge because that's basically why we won the game. So that was huge. So just other people stepping up when other people are out.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think that says that each person on our team can step up and fill any role they need to at any time, so.
I mean, our point guard and our backup point guard fouled out. So we were like our third choice for point guard. We're like, all right, here we go. This is overtime, close game, and it was Kristen Wentling, and she stepped up and filled that role. So that was cool.
So how does the team sort of prepare for that overtime scenario? Because it doesn't happen like on a regular basis, you know. So you're not really like, it could be like weeks between like an overtime game, or you might not have any. Like, how do you just prepare for that?
Well, it's just the score is 0-0, and it's whoever comes out stronger first. So you just kind of got to go from the start, and it's how you should start every game. And so you don't necessarily prepare for an overtime like that. You just know that it's time to kick it into high gear. Now, like, what's lucky is that you've been able to warm up for the whole game, but
I think it's who wants it more. I think that's like really what it comes down to is just grit, and especially during like that after you've already played like an entire game, especially in overtime. That's all that it really comes down to.
Mental toughness, you're digging down. You can't be tired in an overtime, and we talked about that. You know, after they hit a buzzer beater to put it into overtime, so that's like emotional. So we had to really just get back to the basics and be us and do what we do.
How do you like build up that endurance to just keep going, keep pushing?
Running.
yeah, running during practice.
Running. Not a lot, just running. Yeah, definitely. It helps though.
Ludois is nice though. She doesn't make us run a ton.
I think that's up for debate. It depends on who you ask.
Now we'll be running. Thank you, Ava.
So when you're sort of like in that team huddle, like in like those really close situations, what can be said that sort of motivates the team and gets them like back focused in on the game?
Lock in.
Get dialed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dial in, that helps. And then in like the last game we said family, which is a saying which is like forget about me, I love you. And I really like that saying because you're playing for each other, you're not playing for yourself. And if you don't want to go out there, then you should go out there because your teammates, you have to be there for your teammates. So
yeah, making sure everyone's just calm, cool, and collected. Because if we come out all frantic, that's not going to be good.
Have you guys just set any goals for the regular season in relation to the MSL?
I think we each have our personal goals. Mine is to go 10-0 in the MSL East, to end up there at the conference championship, and just put out a good show each time we step on the court.
mine's to be Prospect. I mean, I feel like that's obvious because they're probably our biggest competition, and to be Rolling Meadows because that's just personal competition for me. And then I really want to see Fremd again.
Yeah,
really
I want to see Fremd.
I think right now we're kind of taking it game by game. We've got a big one against Schaumburg tomorrow. I think every game, every practice, every drill we do in practice, we have to be better. And I think we continue to do that.
So something exciting coming up for you guys is your tournament.
No, I ruined it.
Just after Christmas from the 27th to the 30th at Morton College. What is the team most looking forward to going into this tournament?
This is always a really fun tournament. Well, we've only been in it once, but everyone got a sweatshirt.
Yeah, the merch is
And
great.
that's what I was excited for. There's still going to be a shot clock, right?
Last year they had a shot clock, so that was different. Yeah.
I really liked the
I
shot
like the
clock.
shot clock.
It's good for
It
us.
forces the game to be faster.
Well,
yeah,
as a team who's fast,
Yeah.
it really only benefits us because it forces other teams to play at our speed.
Yeah.
Well, most of the time we have to make teams that are play at our speed. Now they're forced to.
Yeah. Shot clock is not fun when they just it's fun when before that.
Yeah, I think
they
the
just
shot
pass
clock
the
should go to
ball
the
around.
state tournament.
Oh yeah, that's definitely
Yep.
true, because
I think they should. Yeah.
at the state game they just passed the ball around and it basically
Held it at half
yeah.
court, and I was just shoot the ball.
It's a tough tournament. There's a lot of really good teams in that tournament, so we'll definitely be tested, but that's what we want. We play a tough schedule for a reason, and so we're ready for postseason.
So with that shot clock, is it a good thing that you guys are like sort of excited about it? Because is it like prepping you guys for maybe taking this up to the next level? Annika, I know you committed at the start of this year. Congratulations, by the way. But is it just sort of a good thing that you guys are excited about just getting a taste of playing like at a higher level?
I also think it advances the high school game because obviously it's a big thing in college and pro. So I feel like as soon as we implement it down at the high school level, I think the game could only just get more fun and exciting.
Sorry. I also think that the team plays best. I think it makes it more competitive, the game more competitive because it makes it faster. There's more possessions. So you have to value the possession. That's a big thing for us is valuing the possessions. That's written on the whiteboard all the time. But makes us value the possessions more. And I think just we play best at a competitive level and when it's more competitive. So I think that that's a big thing too.
Yeah.
So this tournament is going on around the holidays, obviously, like I mentioned. Is there any fun holiday activities being planned amongst the team? Like, maybe a Secret Santa. I know Dispatch is doing a Secret Santa, so what are you guys going to do?
Yeah, the girls have a Secret Santa. We drew names at our last pasta party. I have no idea what to get my person. No idea.
I actually tried to go shopping with my person. That didn't work out because she just bought everything that she wanted. Actually, I probably gave away who I had. It's fine.
Don't listen.
Yeah, I have no idea. But otherwise, again, the questions of the day start relating to Christmas stuff, like what's your favorite Christmas movie? And then there's just, for us, there's only like a 2-3 day break for Christmas. So most of that time is just focused around family. And then as soon as we get back, it's just back to basketball. So
Especially with the competitive games.
Yeah.
Be locked in.
So we get like a 3-day Christmas, basically. There's that few stuff like sprinkled here and there, but otherwise it's mostly just basketball.
We spend Christmas with the team.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So I previously talked with the Orange Crush on another podcast about the hoop season, and they said that they were really focused on trying to gain a bigger audience for not only boys games, but especially for the girls games this season. And your first home game is tomorrow, December 5th, against Prospect. What is everyone on the team looking forward to most about getting to play back at home?
Yeah, I was thinking about it yesterday. I was just like, I can't wait to play at home. There's just a certain feeling about the Ken Carter Gymnasium that you can't replicate. I don't know, maybe it's the orange hue going to your brain, but it's just like amazing. And as Orange Crush constantly fills the stands at our away games, I'm really excited to see what they can do for our first home game.
Yeah, they've been doing an amazing job. Like, I know at the Fremd game, they did an amazing job at, like, supporting us, which I thought
the Oak Grove game, too.
Oh, yeah, that was huge. And I'm really excited to play back on our home court because I've missed it.
Yeah,
I'm wearing the white jerseys I've missed. We've been in orange for the past, like, 2 weeks.
Yeah, and this is, we don't have very many home games this year. I think our only home games are, like, our MSL home games. So it'd be really great to get as many people as possible there.
So does the students' mood that are there have an impact on your mood when you're on the court playing?
I can't hear anything.
Yeah, tune them out.
I can hear anything. Like, sometimes the opposing team, sometimes has, like, an effect, but besides warm-ups, I don't think that I can hear. Or
yeah, you're just
weird.
so focused on what's going on the court.
Yeah, it's like tunnel vision, honestly.
Yeah.
I can't hear.
Their energy can definitely help, though, bring up our energy, too. But, but hopefully we're focused on the court. But I think anytime they're there cheering for you, like kids from your own school, that's always really cool.
Yeah, when they're really loud during timeouts, that's when you can tell.
Or, the chants. The chants are so fun. Or, when they, chant at the other team. Yeah. I think that's really funny, too.
You can kind of hear some noise when you do something really good. You're just like...
Oh, yeah, that helps.
So how do you sort of push aside all the distractions? How do you get to that mindset where it's you just can't hear them? How do you just naturally lock in?
Practice.
Yeah.
Practice. And
it takes time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
wanting to win. You're just so focused on the end goal that everything is kind of oh, well, I guess.
And hopefully we're focused on the game plan and the things that we talked about in practice and in the scout and stuff. So hopefully being able to focus on that kind of dials us in. And I think that we do a pretty good job with that.
Just the thought of, like, don't let my girl go past me is enough. That's a good one.
So just as a final little wrap-up question here, by the end of the season, where do you guys see the team, whether it be, like, mentally, skill-wise, or even physically, like at state?
I didn't play with the team the whole summer because I was out with an injury. And so I've only had, this is now my 7th game with the team. And so I feel like as I keep playing with them, we'll just keep knowing how to play with each other. And that will make us really good as soon as we learn how to, like, connect and jive on the court together. That will make us basically unstoppable.
I think we have the pieces to be a really good team, but we just have to, like, put that together.
Yeah, and that can only take time and experience. So.
Yeah.
It takes time, and one thing that I have to remind myself is, like, patience. Like, every single person, me minus Annika, is playing a new role this year. And even Annika's role is new because it's a much bigger role than it was last year. So everybody is figuring out, and myself included. I'm in a new role this year too. Everybody's still figuring that out. So I keep reminding myself patience, because sometimes that's hard as a coach. But obviously our goal is to go as deep as we can in the postseason.
Well, that's it for today's show. Thanks to Annika Manthy, Ava Harwood, and Coach Ludois, and thanks to our viewers for tuning in. Also, thanks to our sponsor, Jets Pizza, right over there on Rand Road. That will do it for this episode. I'm Emily Durkin. On behalf of our producer, Ryan Antonucci, thanks again, and see you on the next episode.